Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am KRX. We're continuing on as Chile in 1874 here, playing Victoria 3. Kind of doing a slow and steady, heavily commentated playthrough. Not exactly a tutorial because we're still kind of learning the game too, but I think if people are trying to learn the game, I think hopefully they're getting some use out of it. We do have a playlist link down below, so that will kind of help you make sure you're seeing the episodes in order. Because sometimes YouTube recommends things in out of order and stuff. Um, or recommends like a random video rather than like the first video. So in case you're wondering how we got here, the playlist link will help you with that. We're actually in the middle of a Chilean golden age right now. we're making a insane amount of money. We just passed a couple laws that reformed our tax policy. So we have a lot of money that we can play with ourselves. In fact, actually almost so much so. Well, part of this is just because the investment pool is we have a strong investment pool because we're doing mutual with the mutual funds technology. We're able to publicly trade. Why is this not set to? This should be set to publicly traded as well. Can't we can't switch to that yet? It looks like. Anyways, I can switch here. So want to go switch that where we can. Make sure everything's publicly traded that we can set to it. Maximize the number of capitalists that we have, and then that they then are getting an extra boost into the investment pool through our economic structure right now. We're actually making so much money. We have such a good investment pool. Almost makes me think that there could be a very soon from now that we could actually start trying to work towards potentially moving up to the steel frame buildings. Now, this is a big jump up. It costs 300 steel, lots more glass, lots more steel, a lot less of the lower end stuff like the wood and the fabric and things. So we'd have to really ramp up production on the higher end materials in order to cut down this cost. Because right now it's saying it'd be minus 30,000 as a substitution, but we'd have to. That's not accurate, right? We know that's not accurate, but it's just we'd have to also make sure that we are actually in a position where we can make more steel, make more glass, and then that won't be so bad. Speaking of which, we actually do need to just make more glassworks, and it looks like that isn't set to be done as it is. So I'm going to come in here. I'm almost tempted just to do 2 of these, to be honest. And do we have anything in here that's going to use steel? So we already have some things queued up because we already thought this through a little bit. Okay, so if we need to export some steel temporarily or something like that, that's going to be okay. I'm going to set these up ahead of time just to start working our way towards these steel frame buildings. Now, we don't have the technology for that yet. It is spreading automatically, so that will be done presumably probably in a year or 2. We're working on women's suffrage. In fact, our laws are actually looking pretty dandy, to be honest. Chile starts in a pretty good spot with the laws, so there's not too much even that you have to do. Another reason why this is a fairly good beginner nation. But there is going to be, we can enact the dedicated police force. We can enact the guaranteed liberties down here and get those additional institutions here, which will help with radicals and which will help with turmoil and stuff and reducing that quite a bit. Going right up to women's suffrage is going to actually increase a lot of the worker ratio, which is good because we're kind of running out of peasants right now. But we also have a lot of opportunity to go in and continue to automate some of these industries, which will be good. And that's what we've been doing. We've been going through and doing some automation to try to free up some workers. We also have Patagonia that we've conquered from one of the native uncolonized areas. They sort of declared war, but we ended up absorbing them. We're colonizing down here at a really brisk pace, so that will get some more people into the country. And every so often, now that we have multiculturalism, this ends up being it's a little bit of a bug right now. I'm going to call it a bug or imbalance. But if you have, I'm looking at suffrage there, but if you look at the multiculturalism, if you have this in your country and you don't have closed borders, but instead you have like migration controls, it doesn't even matter actually which of these you have. It actually totally doesn't matter because I don't believe there's such a thing as a discriminated pop, right? Once you have multiculturalism, no populations are discriminated against. There needs to be probably more options here. Like maybe migration control shouldn't even focus on discriminated, like it shouldn't frame it that way. Maybe it should be based on like primary cultures or something like that. There needs to be some word here because essentially these become the same thing once you have multiculturalism. And if you have closed borders, then no one, the only people that come in, it's a little bit too it's a little bit too firm and exact. It's like you close borders, no one comes in. It's like no one at all. Like there should just be less migration under that system. And so on and so forth. I don't know. Anyways, point of the story is things are going pretty good here. And we got a lot of buildings queued up. And I think one of the things that we realized that we needed is we just need way more ports. The technology we're actually getting right now is to get the cranes here. This is going to let us actually industrialize our ports. This is going to be huge. This is going to be huge because what we're going to do in this case is we're going to go into our ports and we're going to be able to switch these to industrial ports, which would give us, saying it'll give us 4,000 additional convoys, which is crazy. It means that we'll be requiring a bunch of steamers. And I don't think we don't have the ironclad technology to actually produce those ourselves, but we'll be able to probably easily import steamers, I imagine, from some kind person like the British is probably going to be making some steamers. Fingers crossed. Interesting that Spain is part of the American market and Brazil is part of the French market, so that's interesting. But let's go to the British market here, and I just want to check on their steamer situation. Yeah, look at this. They're making 450 additional steamers. So we'll easily be able to set up a trade route with them and get cheap steamers. And that'll be easy peasy. Easy peasy. And I guess what we'll have to do is probably just send our clippers, probably just export these away because our ports will no longer be using these. So we'll figure it out. Let's pause. Let's roll. Yeah, the fact that we're making this much money, I would say, is a bad thing. We would like to, we'd like to be spending this. I think ideally if we can target, oh man, that's going to fill up soon. If we can target, we got some universities coming in here, Arts Academy, some things that will be government buildings that will cost some more money. But if we can try to get this steel frame, the reason why I want to move to steel frame so badly is because we're making a lot of money. We'd rather be running at a deficit right now. And this would literally double our construction capacity. We would be pumping buildings out twice as fast. And you might remember that we just recently went up to the iron frame. I could technically upgrade the construction sector to like level 7, so we could sort of trickle it up, but then that'll make it even more difficult to go to the next step here. It'll make it even more difficult to go to the next step here. So glassworks, steelworks, yeah, I think we just keep pumping. How are we doing on tools? Can't have enough tools. We're making another tool thing. I think we're just going to keep pumping. Yeah, we're just going to make it once we finish all this stuff, which actually that wood that's coming in, do we need that wood? Whoa. Why is this? Are we doing it for the hardwood? Why are we doing that wood? We might be doing it for the hardwood, but honestly, I don't think we need these. I don't know why we made that decision. I'm not even sure we need this iron, to be honest, because we're going to be saving a ton of iron once we switch out of iron frame buildings, and we're going to need more steel than iron. We do need some more iron. That's fine. Nah. Let me cancel that. We're going to try to make a blitz for steel frame buildings. Let's see what this event says. Increase the standard of living. That's 5 years. We have the money to pay for this, in all honesty. But when that standard of living ends, it's just going to... This is for the lower and the middle strata. It's kind of weird to pay for a temporary increase like that. We have a lot of extra bureaucracy at the moment. That's 5 years, though. That's fine. We have the bureaucracy just kind of float around at the moment. taking a 10% hit for 5 years. The thing is, there's no reason to give people a standard of living increase that's just going to disappear. We are number 2 in the world, and we're doing a great job on standard of living. I mean, everything is going along swimmingly, in all honesty. It'll be interesting to see if any kind of interesting resources, we find any kind of oil down here or anything like that. And of course, we're going to want to come over to here and try to suck up as much of this before Argentina does this. The truth of the matter is we could just attack Argentina. They have an alliance with Uruguay. That's not particularly significant. Argentina is extremely weak. They have a power projection of 54. We have a military power projection of 240. That's because we're actually using modern technology. This is... we're losing, okay, so yeah, we're losing money because the investment pool doesn't work when we're building government buildings. And we're building universities at the moment. Speaking of these universities, how's our paper? Those are going to use paper. So how is our paper economy doing? Our paper industry? It's doing fine. Doing fine. I don't know why we're exporting paper, though. I don't see the point in that. Oh no, that's actually Argentina doing that, so it's not even our choice. They're really... Oh, women's suffrage. Booyah. So I wonder how much more workforce... I think Santiago's at like 30,000 or something? Maybe that went up a little bit? I don't know. Maybe it hasn't kicked in yet. We got to give it a second to kick in. What are we going to pass now? Going to protectorism. I think it's saying that we'd actually make more money off of this. I'm actually wondering, though, we don't make a lot of money from tariffs. It might be interesting to go into free trade. Problem here is nobody actually supports free trade, so we actually couldn't get this passed. This would save us a lot of bureaucracy on the cost of our trade routes. So, like, we're spending 100 bureaucracy. That would be cut probably about in half. And the trade route competitiveness would be up 50%, and the trade route volume would be up 50%. That just seems like that's really, really good at the cost of 7,000 in tariffs. We're making barely any money in tariffs. I mean, realistically, I mean, how much could we even be making off? Yeah, I mean, we're just not making that much off of tariffs. So I don't know if leaning into this, although this would make it so we'd make 5,000 more off tariffs. And the truth is, like the economy that we have set up is a little bit more focused towards this than not. This would basically be a matter of just adding these guys to government, the industrialists, adding them to government so that we can then come over here and pass this law because no one else supported it besides them. It's an interesting idea. You know, we could go for the guaranteed liberties. Actually, getting the primary schools going would be good because this would just increase our education institution more and get rid of child labor. Child labor is increasing the mortality rate. I mean, at this point, we've kind of gotten a lot of things that I think we want done. I think this will be the most interesting to play around with, though. Let's go for free trade. 23% on that. Yeah, the trade union's going to be a little bit upset, but you know what? They love us so much that, well, they'll bounce back. They'll bounce back. It'll be fine. What is this? Who's this? Oh, okay, so Argentina is actually working on them first. Interesting. Instead of coming down and working on this. So it gives us a chance to finish this up real quick. Oh, no, Argentina, why? Why? They have a little itsy-bitsy little bit of this. I'm tempted to attack Argentina, honestly. I'm straight up tempted to just attack them and see what happens if we go for an attack on Argentina. This is almost kind of, like, silly to me. Oh, our relationship with them is too positive. Okay, let's make sure that we come into here and we damage relations with Argentina. And I'm actually tempted to damage relations with Peru. We got to come up here and attack Peru, Bolivia as well at some point. I'm going to increase relations with... apparently we can't do it with Brazil for some reason. I guess they're not... Technically, they're not in our interest group. I don't know how they're not in our interest group, but they're not. Actually, I wonder if... Hold on a second. I'm curious... Wow. Even if we were to come up and conquer a lot of this in here, I'm looking at just sort of how the interest groups shake out. Yeah, these guys share an interest with each other, but Brazil's kind of in its own interest group for crying out loud. That's kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. I think before Argentina like causes too many issues, I think we just kind of want to beat them up, to be honest. I don't know how many states they... Oh, they have a number of states. Okay. They have quite a few states. Buenos Aires has to be their most developed, though, right? Their highest population. Altogether, what do they have? 1.3 million pop. 0.3 in Buenos Aires. Oh, 300,000 there. So if we kind of took this province, if we kind of, I say province, but I mean state. This is one of their most productive states up here. What is this? Their capital has to be in here, right? Yeah, their capital is Buenos Aires. But if we could sort of like grab these in a war, again, I'm not even 100% sure how war works. That would cut them off, I think, from being able to potentially, I don't know if they'd be allowed to colonize down here if they'd be completely surrounded. You wouldn't be allowed to do that in EU4, but here I'm not sure. Or at least it'd be very slowed, and then in a future war we could just sort of scoop them up. Yeah, so we got to degrade relations with these peeps. They're like super friendly with us. What else can we do? Can we declare them a rival or something? No, because it's like we're too friendly with them. What can we do here? Technically, we'd ask them to be a tributary. But, anyways. So we got to work on buttering them down. Buttering them down. And you know what? I'm not scared of anybody right now. Let's butter down Peru, Bolivia as well. And since we have an influence left, let's make sure France likes us. And make sure United States likes us. Those universities should be coming online, so we're going to be teching up faster and getting more literacy and everything, more qualifications for our workers and everything, I imagine. High tension in the areas, that's okay. It's kind of annoying, but it looks like Argentina is trying to split this area with us down here instead of just working on all this. That's okay. And I think we're very close to making that big blitz to go up to steel frame buildings. And how is that spread? That's going to be finished within a few months. Unfortunately, the game's starting to slow down quite a bit. I think combination of, just the game doesn't run that well and, having to record it as well is causing issues. So we're on speed 5, but it's slowing down a bit here. So all these industries are coming online. That should be rebalancing things. We've already sort of determined that. Increase the enactment chance. Yeah, we don't really need to make the industrialists like more popular long term. We just need to kind of get them to support us in the meantime. Now that we're using a lot of the investment pool, we're back up to making money. Again, we kind of don't really need to be making this much money. I'm actually realizing that the free trade is going to cut because we'll be cutting the tariffs. We might, I don't know, it might be trickier than not to try to push up to steel frame building. I don't know. We're going to try. We're going to see if we could push it up to the steel frame construction or not. Combination of the investment pool will hopefully be a factor. And as we continue to grow this will help us grow the economy massively, like much faster. So I think the idea is hopefully we could quickly sort of, burn through the reserves, use the investment pool, and then the economy, the GDP will just grow enough that it will just grow into it, basically. Explosives, though, is another thing that is really, really high. You need 60 more explosives in order to... Yeah, we're going to need another chemical plant. That's also in Santiago. You can see we did, okay, 45,000 peasants available. So yeah, so I think that's an extra 10,000 from women in that area, like joining the workforce. I think we are seeing the numbers go up for the available people to go to work, which is good. What else are we going to need here? The glass is going to need more lead, right? And the steel is going to need more coal, probably. It's extremely productive glassworks. That's why we're making more. I mean, I guarantee we're going to need more coal. The other thing we'll probably need quickly is this open hearth process. That will give us tons of additional steel. Tons of additional steel out of out of the existing steel factories that we'll have. Just really keeping kind of a close glass to... we're building 2 glass manufacturers. That should do that. The tools require steel. We're building another tool thing now. So we're just going to need an absolute metric ton of steel. All in all. And we're going to need... We've got the chemical plant to do the explosives. I think potentially lead. So let's go look at the lead situation, because lead goes into the glass. I think we're going to need another thing of lead. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to be paused there. So this, I think once all this stuff is done, I think the goal is going to be to flip it to steel frame buildings. Once all of this finishes up. And I'm actually kind of tempted to lower this down a touch. Just to, I don't think we need double glass right now. Boom, boom. I think we'll stagger those a bit. I mean, the truth is we need the tools right. I'm almost tempted to add another thing of tools. Because we'll need more tools just for sure. This is all in Santiago. I mean, what kind of industry do we have in Los Rios that we can be expanding? The motor industry. How is this not making money? The railway is not done. That railway is going to demand more, and then also obviously the price of... Oh no, you crazy. You crazy. That once this railway's done, that will fix itself. I'm not too worried about that. Munitions plant is actually also making a lot of money. The coal, okay, so the coal that we're building and the lead that we're building, that's all going to come in with Los Rios. And I think we were trying to potentially do the logging for one reason or another. I'm not sure why. We're going to have a lot of extra wood left over. We're going to have a lot of extra wood left over. So technically we can hit this button, but it would be kind of disastrous to do this right this second, I think. What we're waiting on is we're going to get this open hearth thing next. And then we're just waiting on those buildings to build. And hopefully that can all kind of time out correctly, because this is going to be about 120 more steel. I think at least 120 more steel. So let's get that quickly. And let's make sure all of our ports are getting upgraded, or at least try to stagger those a touch. this, yeah, so let's do this. This will reduce the clipper count and increase the steamer count. Then we need to go to, we need to import steamers. And it's going to be very productive to do that from the UK. In fact, that's going to give us so many more convoys. You know what, I'm just going to, let's just flip the switch. I'm turning all of them to industrial ports. That's going to require, we already determined, and I'm going to export out the clippers that we no longer need. In fact, we can export those. We'll send the clippers to the British market, and then we'll bring in the steamers, and that's how that'll work out. And I think this industrializing this port is going to make a huge impact, I think. The free trade's going to take a hit here. We're going to lose some bureaucracy if we do that. Or, who is this? Please tell me this is the industrialist. Okay. It's annoying. Yeah. Yeah, we don't mind if the industrialist takes a popularity hit. Although that was a minus 15% rather than 10%. We'll survive. It'll get done eventually. There's not too many other laws. I just want to make sure that we maintain this bureaucracy at the moment. And not go negative there. What is this? Photographs of Chile, huh? Looks like a way to get some prestige. No, we don't need... Well, we don't really need temporary legitimacy. Well, yeah, or temporary prestige. We'll be fine either which way. I was thinking about this. We're at rank 14, which I think is really good. If we were to able to get up to 273, we'd actually become a major power, which I'm not sure exactly. I assume this would give us more interests around the globe, which I would really, really like to have more interests around the globe, but I don't know. This is only steel mill number 1 here. Standard of living number 1 in the world. We are in the Chilean golden age, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Investment pool is getting drained right now. We're adding to it at a lower rate than we're taking from it, is what's going on. So we're losing 13,000 from the investment pool per tick. It's fully paying for all of our construction, though, which is why our reserves are actually increasing, and we're at 2 million gold reserves right now. So, I mean, that's money that we don't mind spending. We don't mind spending that money. Something happened with the party. The elections here, okay. Social Democrat Party is going to get the vast majority of the votes here. In fact, the National Party is going to actually end up getting third at this rate. Nothing changes. They're only in government temporarily anyways, so we're not too upset by that. Expensive government goods. Iron's expensive. That's fine. We're using iron frame buildings right now to build. That's going to change because we're going to start using steel. So the requirement of the construction sector is using 345 of these. That's going to all get wiped out. Wiped out. And the price of steel will be expensive, and the price of iron will be cheap, and that'll make the steel mills even more productive. Right now, they're not going to be too productive because we're going to be overbuilding those things. I'm tempted to flip the switch and then fix this, to be honest. I think we're almost. Let's check on our let's check on the explosive count. We're still. I'm sure we're still hiring for that chemical plant that we just got online. Yeah, we have a break. Whoa, 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 zero. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. No, we need people working here. We need these explosives getting made. Trust me. Trust me on this. That's where subsidies can work, but it's like, guys, just trust me. We're going to be entering a golden age here soon. Just bear with me here and just hire the people. Hire the people. Trade unionists are really happy with us right now. Or, sorry, the industrialists. Giving this a 15% chance to pass is a lot nicer than reducing it by 35%. Taking a huge hit here because the investment pool has gone just dry. Which is going to be kind of a bad time, I think, to Like, it would have been nice if this could have passed so that we could get a free government reform, but unfortunately we're going to waste this government reform. It's fine. What is their actual legitimacy looking like right now? See, if we were to kick these guys out of government, it would be better for us legitimacy-wise, but that would make it so we can't pass this, so that'd be bad. We're about to make the next big step in our golden age here. But I'm kind of wanting this stuff to finish first. Please tell me we're making a lot of glass. I think these businesses are not quite understanding that we're gonna really need them to come online. Holy cow, guys! I'm sorry if that came through on the mic. I apologize. That was like a whistle from the vent or something, like air coming out of a duct or something. I was just like, what the heck is that? Both me and Toby looked up in that and we're like, what the heck was that? I don't know if the microphone picked up that high pitched whistling sound or something. I was just like, the wind was, or maybe it was just howling of the wind or something coming through, like a little crack or something. You know, I think honestly, unfortunately, we have the reserves to eat an issue here. I think we're gonna do this. And just, I think we're just going to sort of shock the economy here, and hopefully it'll kind of work out here. I'm going to come into here. We're going to do the open hearth process and consume more iron that we're no longer consuming to build. And then we're also going to move up to here so we can make a lot more steel. 90 more. Plus this steel factory is going to come online. It's going to cost us, there's no way around it. This is going to cost us like insane amounts of cash. But I think we're going to be shocking all of this in such a way that like everybody should be hiring now. Like this glassworks should be like coming online. Okay, why like 6,000 weekly balance? I mean, the productivity here should be just off the charts. Why do we not have more? Why do we need so? Didn't we just build 2 things of glass? I'm gonna build 2 more. And here's the thing: we are building at an insane pace. We're building 4 buildings at a time right now. 4 buildings at a time. Improved fertilizer could be really good. The pump jacks could be really good. A lot of this stuff is going to be fantastic for us. Right now, we have a 20% production technology cost reduction bonus because of the engines of progress from the industrialists, because they're over, and usually be 10%, and that's because they're 5 loyalty or whatever. But because they're over 20%, it doubles it. If they were at 10% loyalty, then we'd also get the capital investment pool contribution, which honestly would be quite good, to be fair. That would be really nice. Peru Bolivia unredacted. A book rejected for the publication in Peru, Bolivia due to the restrictive laws have been accepted by a Chilean publisher. Oh, interesting. I'm assuming by the laws of Chile, they have the right to print it, of course. And this will make Peru, Bolivia's not like us, which is good because we don't want them to like us. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. So I think the economy's still a little bit in shock right now. If I was to wager. And we probably have so much wood. Well, a lot of it's coming in via trade routes, so that trade route should just fluctuate. Should just fluctuate. We need a lot more coal. I'm wondering if we have technology. No, okay. More coal mines. Another gold mine. I mean, more. How are we doing on lead and sulfur? Need more sulfur. We have a lead thing building right now, and that'll probably balance us out there. More sulfur. Love how it says we're going to lose money. Yeah, of course. Highly doubt it. How's the furniture looking, actually? It's looking fine. Everything's looking pretty good, to be honest. I'm just wondering, that might sort of fluctuate a little bit, but I'm thinking we might need to get just another. We want steel to be a little bit cheap because it's ultimately going to be an input, right? So we want steel to be cheap. So let's get that queued up. And now we have a bunch of buildings. We are now building at a rate of 74 per. That is insane. We're losing some money, but again, it kind of doesn't matter because eventually the investment pool is going to kind of continue to ramp up. The industry is going to continue to ramp up. The GDP is going to continue to ramp up. And all these things are going to feed back into itself. And we're going to be able to cover these costs. Plus, while we're making this big, massive economic transition, our gold reserves are gonna handle that. The 2.3 million in the gold reserves. In fact, we could calculate how long we could go at a minus 14. And honestly, I'm guessing quite a while. So we'll be fine. Multiple years, I think, we'll be fine. But I think, honestly, guys, that's a good get back into the flow of this on this series. And I think we're going to want to do a little bit of warfare soon. And then... And that's why we're trying to beat up on Argentina here. Actually, interestingly enough, it looks like we have the means of attacking. What if we actually attacked Peru, Bolivia first? I don't know. These will all have to be. Yeah, they don't have a. They don't have an alliance with anybody. We might be able to just go into them. That'd be a more difficult battle. But I think we'd actually do okay there. Guys, thanks everybody for being here. We'll try to figure that out in the next one. Hopefully this free trade can pass as well in the next episode and see how that sort of affects the economy for good or for bad. But thanks everybody for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode as we continue on as Chile.